Okay, so this is Lobo issue 1, the second DC all-in next level book that I got this week. Another Jorge Corona artwork cover, which actually makes sense because he's done some interior artwork as well. So Lobo is a character I like. I preferred Lobo, controversially, when he was in the Legion 88, 89 series, whatever, or 94, whatever it went up to. And I quite liked. Well, that's not true. I liked the Bisley original miniseries. That's pretty cool. Um, but then it became more and more, and again that was kind of like a gag miniseries. And then it became kind of DC continuity. And it kind of he became DC's Deadpool effectively, and I do not like Deadpool. Again, controversial. So I was never kind of a fan of all that kind of thing going on. I loved him in Countdown 52, when he had the dolphin, space dolphin. That was really, really good. Um, so it was also a thing where kind of like, how does all this fit in with standard DC continuity? Because there was all these gags being made. Now I hate that. I like the idea that the universe is real because that's why the stories count. The idea you can kind of make just gags in it that kind of ruin it. Anyway, so with this I thought, well, we'll give it a try and see what it's like. It's actually not bad. I've tried to kind of let that go a little bit. Obviously, reading Battle Beast and similar wings, but even Battle Beast is kind of done in continuity, even though it's kind of outrageous and outlandish. It kind of works. So this is okay, and it kind of makes sense in relation to the storyline as well. Anyway, he's on his way to do a bounty hunting. Of course, over the top, violence and this kind of stuff as well. Makes his way into this bar, and it turns out after gives a kind of you know guns people down, cuts them up, and all this kind of stuff as well. Gives a little history lesson about who he is and kind of all this kind of stuff as well, which is fine. It's quite nice they kept her in the continuity and all, and the dolphins. And then you get obviously they talk about the Christmas Easter special and all this kind of stuff and all this whatever. They even mention the dodgy stand-in they created, which is fine. And then they mention about the DCKO stuff where he's fighting Wonder Woman. Um, and he's going to bounty hunt this guy, and it's like, oh no, you got a phone call. You don't need to bring him in. It's the contract's been cancelled. So he goes back to the place where the contract is supposed to be, and it turns out that they've been brought out by this organisation, which is Omni Amiga Plus Entertainment or whatever it is, and effectively they've purchased the entire bounty hunting kind of organisations, and decided instead to make it into a reality TV show. So these guys are there to kind of stop him security. So obviously all that gets filmed, and it's like, oh, this is really cool. Um, and again, I don't. Yeah, it's all this kind of. There's a few little watchwordy kind of things in there. It's like all this gag stuff, but that's fine. Anyway, so it turns out, yeah, this guy basically says, right, this is fantastic. What we're going to do now is we are going to make a reality TV show where we're going to be following you around doing your bounty hunters, and that's the premise. That's it. So that's cool. That's fine. Um, but I now, compared to Definite Terminator, this definitely seems to be a short-lived idea for this storyline. I don't believe at least this first storyline cannot maintain a book for a long amount of issues. This is like a 4-issue so we'll see what happens with that. But all in all, it's actually not too bad. The artwork's really, really nice and completely over the top. But you see that he's kind of like doing a lot, very much like Bisley, Kevin O'Neill kind of style artwork, which is fine. It's good stuff. And we'll see where it goes. But yeah, I'm more than happy to pick this up for a little while and see what happens with it. Um, as I said before, my Deathstroke interview review. Um, I'm more looking forward to Firestorm out of all these books than anything else. But we thought we'd give Lobo a try, and it was, compared to stuff I've read recently from Marvel and DC, this is something that's actually, I'm actually quite interested in a DC book. That's nice. So yeah, very, very cool. So I'm hoping that sales of this are good, which is obviously true because I've already gone on to some sites looking for issue 2, and a lot of issue 2 pre-orders have sold out as well. So this one seems to be a big thing. But let's say the longevity for this, I don't know. 8 issues, 10 issues, 12 at the max, maybe. But I mean, Lobo was never really one of them characters that could, I would have thought, could handle a massive run. But we shall see. And if these guys leave, that would be a shame as well. So I'd say keep these guys on it until they don't want to do it anymore, and then that's where you cut it and you kind of bring it back again. So anyway, I think that's pretty much all I want to say about this one. So yeah, it's a very very short review, but yeah, over the top violence, everything you kind of expect from Lobo. You've seen anywhere else. With a storyline that actually seems to be have a point to it, which is very very cool. So yeah, we're not quite into the possibly the duplicity and sophistication and who's doing what as Deathstroke. Um, but yeah, I just see this is going to be one issue after another of taking bad guys down in various silly ways. So we shall see what happens. Anyway, yeah, that's enough rambling for now. So thanks for listening, and hopefully I will see you on another video very very soon. Bye bye.